Welcome to our new series, Open Comms, where Erik and I talk about all the different issues that are plaguing and interesting to military veteran culture.
Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of comedy in there. There's going to be some serious notes, but our focus is to talk about the issues that no one else is going to talk about, because if we don't care, who's going to? I know you're pretty heated on this one. Let's talk about your video you recently posted on the World War II Memorial Day.
Yeah. That right there is the World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States of America. And every time I've been there for many, many years, I've always seen people walk into the memorial, and I don't like it. Maybe I should feel differently about it. I'm willing to accept that. But it just kind of feels weird to go and treat a World War II memorial, just any memorial really, like a water park. But that's just me, I guess. I found this video of the World War II memorial. I've been to DC several times, as have you. And first off, all the stuff they have there is sick. The like road, I don't know what the road's called, but the one with like the Smithsonian's, they're all there. They're all really cool. There's a ton of really cool memorials. It sucks that we have to have them, but they are very well done. Yeah. Like my favorite, honestly, might be I think it's the Korean War veterans one, where it's mainly meant to be seen at night, like they're on night patrol, and it just shows the light on their faces. Have you seen it?
No, that's awesome.
It's actually sick. I think that's the one. Someone needs to fact check that. But I saw people at the World War II Memorial. It's huge. It's got like statues and it breaks down. It's this huge water fountain. And every time I go there, it's like a water park.
Swimming pool.
It drives me insane. First off, I don't know if my position's right or not, but I do know I have thoughts on it, and I think it's okay to have feelings on it.
Yeah. No, and I get it, and I'm split on it too, honestly, because as a dad, I'm like, kids are gonna go towards water, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
But then also it's like,
I don't blame kids for it.
This memorial is pretty meaningful, and it's such a fine line of is this disrespectful?
There's also signs that say don't do it.
Oh, that helps.
There's signs that say don't do this stuff.
Don't go in the fountain.
Yeah,
what is it? A pool?
It is a fountain. It says stuff like I think you can stick your feet in it, because they said that's what World War II veterans did when they were relaxed, is they stuck their feet into stuff. I don't find that to be true, because that's not how trench foot works. I don't think anyone was dipping their feet in things.
Yeah, just relaxing in a trench.
Well, yeah, they're like, let's take a break from the war, and you just kind of kick your dogs up. Yeah. You're actually trying to keep your feet dry, mainly, as you know, as a fellow infantryman. And
I'm sure someone in the comments is going to have a historical fact about this.
Yeah, that's fine.
They actually bathed their feet only.
Yeah, that's what they did when they were in island hopping campaigns.
I'm thinking of Afghanistan right now, where they're just there washing each other's feet in the sink.
No, the whole thing is keeping your feet dry. Your feet have to be dry.
The trench foot was a number one killer of people in World War II, because
World War II, the island hopping campaigns, they were also in Europe, moving across all that stuff being frozen, the not frozen, the mud, everything. So okay, whatever. If you want to go to a memorial for the world's the biggest war in the world, okay, that's kind of weird.
U.S. history, let's say.
U.S. history. It's kind of weird, but then people are oh, well, it's in different languages. There's pictures, right? So the pictures are pretty clear. There's a guy it's got a green, and there's a guy that swimming, and it's got a red.
It's like the no diving sign at your community pool.
Yeah, some things don't need language. That's why they're universal symbols.
Yeah.
And I get it. Freedom's awesome, and it really is cool. I hate even saying that, because most people don't really, really understand what it's like to not have freedom, and people kind of throw it around a little too loosely in general. But there is something to be said for a time and a place. Yeah. When I'm there and I hear the water cascading, all I can think about is the cascading effects that war had on the globe. Yeah. Right? It literally shaped everything, right? The only way to get out of the war as a whole, or to stop Japan from entering or continuing to be a part of it post Pearl Harbor, was for us to drop the bombs that we did, which then put us into the nuclear age and all the different things that happened after that. So it is kind of weird that you're there and it's all you can really hear is the water, at first, until you hear people splashing around. It's not just kids; it's people, it's adults running around, jumping into it. And so I think it is cool to have that and to know it. But it kind of feels like up there to me with like camping out at Arlington Cemetery, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Like I would no sooner cook s'mores next to the tomb of the unknown soldier than I would bathe or put my feet into the World War II memorial.
Yeah, I think that's something that I can get on board with.
Yeah.
You want to cue us in, cue me in on the VA article you shared earlier, having to do with the researcher?
Yeah, I mean, like I was looking for stuff that I feel like is important to talk about.
I was actually really excited you put this one on the agenda because it was a positive note, right?
It is a positive note.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and it's written by... So this article on We Are the Mighty, the VA doubles down on communication research to save veterans by the great Jess Manfrey.
The great Jess Manfrey.
The great Jess Manfrey.
She's awesome.
So this article talks about like what distinguishes this approach from other ones. There's a lot of different things that are being done to like really kind of break the stigma associated with like military service and veterans in general. But what this researcher is doing is like literally talking to veterans of a young age right as they transition because they're most at risk, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've in my recent history knowledge, I've never heard anybody say that.
Yeah.
Like, I have a firm belief that, like, the path, what does it say? Like, dude, like, when you first get out, it's such a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally such a nightmare. And in 2011, when I got out, God, old man. Dude, we're the same age. Like,
God, old man, let me tell you about the big war.
Like, when you get out, I had, like, 2 weeks. I had 2 weeks I took off. I had terminal, and I got home in, like, December.
Yeah.
And then I started college, like, seductions later. And that...
Just picture you in college.
Bro.
Backwards hat. Hello, fellow youth.
No, I didn't. Well, that wasn't it. What it was I hadn't been around normal people in so long. So, like, my clothes were still from, like, 2007, and it's so bad.
You hadn't bought a new outfit since you didn't.
No, I don't want to say what it was. It was Ed Hardy. But I had a bunch of, like, weird shirts that, like, I was like...
the one with all the designs all around
Yeah, man, I was bedazzled. I'm not afraid of it.
Shit.
No, but it was... Like, I literally time hopped from, like, 2007 with, like, PacSun attire to, like, 2011. People were like, what are you doing?
What year is it?
Yeah, and I was, like, carrying my backpack and stuff, and they're like, we don't carry backpacks. That's lame, Grandpa.
We're single strapping? We're double strapping now.
Yeah, dude, it was so bad. So embarrassing. And so I even didn't cut my hair for a year.
Oh, God.
Just to, like, fight the power. I looked dumb. I looked like Jason Bieber, like Justin's cousin. Like, it was so bad. Like, Justin went on to be successful, and I just went on to not be.
It's safe to say you struggled a bit with transitioning out of the Marine Corps.
Set the pot to the kettle.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
You just, like, went and, like, worked out for a decade. But you're okay. This is the most you've ever worn a shirt.
Though, but I thought my transition was relatively easy, but I do talk about this a lot is... I think there's so much focus on PTSD, right?
Uh-huh.
Like that's what everyone lumps anyone veteran with mental issues, PTSD.
Yeah.
But the real, I think, thing affecting a lot of veterans is exactly what Dr. Karas is focusing on, which is transitioning.
Well, and so like my thing was I didn't really start working on that stuff until like 2016. Until very recently, to be honest. Because, like, I got out, I have a wife, I have 2 children. I didn't have time to, like, worry about my feelings.
Yeah.
So I just, like, went on through school, got a full-time job, went to school full-time, got a bachelor's, got a master's, and then, like, all these goals I had set up, like, that seemed so unachievable, they were there.
Yeah, but
and
you buried yourself in it in a different way. I think a lot of folks get out and they don't see... that straight path where they don't understand how to take it, and that's the real issue I think plaguing veterans right now, especially the ones she's focusing on, the ones that are just transitioning.
Yeah.
Is that you get out and the military is so safe, right?
Yeah.
The military is this safe little ecosystem, this shelter where they tell you what to do every single day. They tell you where to be every single day.
Easy.
They tell you what to wear every single day. You literally just got to listen. Like, you got to have a 5th grade ability to listen and do what you're told, right? And they give you a housing allowance. They'll give you food allowance. They tell you how to spend your money.
Yeah.
And And then there's always someone kind of over you in leadership to slap you on the wrist if you do something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're an officer, then you get away with everything.
Well, not everything, but that's my point, right? And then you're getting paid on the 1st and 15th, no matter what.
The military is easy.
And then you get out and you see that grass, and you're like, oh my God, that grass must be so green until that grass is real. And you're like, holy shit, I got to water it. And I think that's where a lot of guys go awry is you're out, and now you have to make all the decisions on your own. No one's telling you what to do, and you have to make sure that you're getting paid and you're supporting your family. And that is stressful.
It is stressful because, it's easy in the structure, and then the structure kind of abandoned. You abandon the structure when you
abandon
out.
the structure, yeah.
But, it definitely helped in the early stages for me of having, there's a syllabus.
Yeah.
There's, stuff you can plan on.
Well, I think
college is easy.
Yeah,
college
you
is not
straight
hard.
to college, and then that gives you that transition period to be like, all right, this is what I want to do. And you're still in a somewhat structure. You're going to class. You're getting paid BAH still. Yeah. And, I think that's what a lot of guys think they're going to do, but they fail to actually plan on doing it.
Well, I think everyone's a lot more afraid. Even I know dudes who still haven't gone to college now, and they're afraid of it. And I'm like, dude, college is easy. I don't understand it. It's very, maybe it's just because of the mindset I went into it, but I had tutors pretty much through half of it.
Yeah.
Had to do remedial classes. That was fine. I got
It's good.
3.48 and then a 3.49. I got really close to getting so upsetting how close I was to graduating with honors, but I didn't. But it doesn't matter. Yeah. The point was the system is this. Here are the things you have to do. Here's the expectations. If you can meet that,
that's what we're good at,
bro. You told me what I have to do. I can do that all day long. And so it is harder when you're younger. I get that, but if you can understand that this is the structure, if you'll body it, and you can get paid. I'm trying to talk to my daughters about this. Scholarships, once your tuition's paid, you keep what's left. So, if you put yourself in a position where you're able to have those things, it can actually be fun. But, I was doing pretty good till 2016. Then the wheels came off a little bit. And now I'm working on trying to find the best path forward. And, I'm like what we're doing now. Just my whole goal is, this is, my final thing that I'm focused on is helping people. I want to put, a real face and a real what am I looking for? Not reality. We've talked about this before, but no one really talks about what it's like to transition or hear podcasts and stuff, and they're just well, you gotta, when you think about quitting, you should quit thinking about quitting. And you're
buy my ebook.
Yeah, it's called Quitting's for Quitters, and I'm a Navy SEAL, and those things aren't helpful. But if you're hey man, this is what I did. This is what you should do. There are things about the reality of life after service. So I think we're humanizing all of it a little bit. But.
So what is Dr. Karis's, I guess, not position, but program? I guess. Did she get into that?
The main thing she talks about is what. So this is from the article. What distinguishes her approach from the others is the involvement of veterans as partners in her research and sharing their stories to motivate others at risk for suicide to seek help. So what she's doing more than anything else is she's providing examples.
Yeah, and a platform.
Yeah. Erik said this. Zach said that. These are real-time examples of everything. Again, because there's the veteran is such an idea now. Yeah. Or veterans after service or whatever that I've noticed this a lot lately that it's pretty easy to spot people that have served or first or second levels of affinity, and it kind of drives me up the wall, but I'm working through that. And so in order to help, she's hey, these are real-time examples that you can lean into beyond just buying an ebook or.
That's awesome. We should talk to her.
Yeah, I'll try. Hey, will you talk to us? We're cool.
You want to just have a toast to the Taliban actually doing something right for once?
I don't know if we can do that.
Yeah, we should never toast the Taliban, right?
I don't know if we can.
Let's not toast the Taliban. Let's toast the IS.
You heard it here first. Erik said, "Good job, Taliban."
Erik wants to toast the Taliban. Canceled.
No, Erik. So the Taliban.
Fuck them. But
first, the Taliban have a Twitter. Are you aware of this?
I saw them telling us we should be nicer to people or something a couple months ago.
They like to subtweet a lot of people.
Their PR guy
it's the same. I think it's the same firm that runs Wendy's, but Twitter account.
What was it? It was something was going on, and Taliban was like, "We do not condone violence in America." I'm like, "What?"
There's a lot of stuff. They tweeted Hillary Clinton. I'm gonna leave it at that. But they tweeted a lot of things. It's
this guy is talking out of his neck.
Yeah, I love it. I love that he's like Googling like English language and stuff to like I need a better adjective.
Oh my god! It's always so coherent to him. Like they did not write this.
Yeah, I mean,
I've met those guys. They did not write this.
Who knew the Taliban would be like such a good place for content?
Well, there was that article recently. I mean, this was like maybe 6 months ago, and I don't even remember. It was either Tasking Purpose or the Duffel blog. There was a 50% chance it was true. Of the Taliban complaining that 9 to 5 work now is just too taxing on them, and they want to go back to just like being terrorists.
Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, like why would they? They're like having to check in and like do a punch card, and they're like, "This is not the Afghanistan we fought for." They're just
welcome to the club, guys.
Yeah, no, but
formations.
So obviously it's weird times. I barely understand it, but Pentagon officials have said the Taliban kill ISIS leader responsible for the Abbey Gate bombing that killed 13 troops. The Taliban have killed Islamic State group leader who's responsible for the August 26, 2021 bombing at the Hamid Karzai International Airport's Abbey Gate.
They won't name him.
But Air Force Brigadier General Patrick Ryder confirmed this as the ISIS-K leader who planned the attack. So I've recently got connected to probably one of the finest Americans ever. His name's Tyler Vargas Andrews.
Whistling Death on the Instagram.
Whistling Death on Instagram. Everyone should follow him for sure. And
he gave an amazing speech to Congress.
Testified in front of Congress. Literally sat down, did it. I mean, when there aren't many things that like really motivate me, and that's stuff I'm working on.
Outside of me.
Like I said, there aren't many things that really motivate me. But like when I think about him and I think about like just the way he's moving and how he's being different, and like if there's anyone who should be upset or could be upset, he's literally the last injured Marine from the longest war a country's ever had. The last injured service member. And he's not. He's missing an arm. He's missing a leg. And he still works out. Like he's on demon time every day. He's starting businesses and doing all sorts of stuff. He's like trying to advocate and do all these different things. And like I honestly believe he might be the very best of all of us.
That's awesome. No, he's for sure a special breed.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot to get blown up and turn around and stay motivated and actually continue to push forward not only yourself, let alone other people.
Well, and like he has such a good sense of humor about it. Like we did the post and he's like, I have this idea, and I was like, what is it? And it's like, this is what happens when you run with scissors. And so it's like so funny.
That was so good.
And if like he can find humor in life, then who can't?
Yeah.
And that's really the things I'm always trying to do is like use humor in a good way to talk about like uncomfortable things.
I mean, that's what this is.
Yeah.
We make fun of stuff, but we're actually bringing forth issues that the news is not going to cover.
Yeah, and one of the things he didn't cover particulars and why Tyler went to Congress is because, firsthand account, he was pulling reports. He's a sniper team leader. He's a pig. It's a very big deal. Pig or hog, whatever. One's got a tooth, one doesn't. Dude, it's all the same. But
you lost me. What?
That's what they call a hog's tooth. It means they went to sniper school. So the bullet they wear around their neck.
Pig is not sniper school?
Professionally trained. Pig means professionally instructed gunman.
Okay.
Hog means hunter of gunmen. Yeah. Super cool.
We just learned something today.
Yeah.
Some Marine talk.
Sniper school
talk. Is it sniper talk?
It's just sniper talk.
I wasn't recon.
It just means I wasn't either. I was good at my job.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
like, there's you either dress like a bush or you don't. That's all it really means. Like you either look, I'm a shrub.
Yeah.
There's no shrubbery in
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Rifle or you don't.
Yeah. Like that's your hair's long or not. But what I love about him, what he did is so incredible. Is he sat down and he said this quote. He talks about how the days leading up to it, they had a lot of information that were given us about possible attacks and all these different things. And he's quoted as saying, "Plain and simple, we were ignored." Yeah. Vargas Andrews told the House Foreign Affairs Committee, "Our expertise was disregarded. No one was held accountable for our safety." And I couldn't agree more. Like, it is cool that the Taliban killed this dude, but this is somebody who literally had information that 100% could have prevented it.
Yeah.
I mean, from all I can understand, they had PID, positive identification. You know, they knew what to look for.
Multiple times. Like, there's even, like, little patterns of disruption they'd picked up upon. Yeah. And, like, they had really good atmospherics, and it was just completely disregarded. And the leadership either didn't care or they didn't want to take the risk of...
What do you think it is? I mean, like, I know it's just, like, whatever, but, like... Yeah, no. Not whatever, but, like, we're not foreign affairs like people, but like we're both leaders in Afghanistan.
In those shoes, like, and I get it, and I think it's. I remember when I was in Afghanistan, it was 2016, and it was a different war than even the one you were in, right?
Oh yeah.
There was so much concern at the time about creating anything bad in the news or anything bad in general.
We know what happened. Cell phones. Well, that was a big change.
Yes.
Like, literally, from that time
no
to that
longer
time.
GoPro. Yeah. I mean, we still ran on GoPros for the most part.
Yeah, everybody had that stuff, but, like, having, like, the ability to share content, like, that's literally what it was.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, so that was it. Like, they didn't want to risk anything that looked bad, especially because even then they were planning on, like, all right, we're leaving Afghanistan eventually. Like, we need to leave this in a safe way where we don't look like the bad guy. That's pretty much what happened, right? And I'm sure that was even more amplified when he was there.
Yeah.
And so the last thing they want is a bunch of Marines shooting civilians coming up on the news. And I that's the only thing in my mind that would be like why they would not pay attention to this. But there is the perfect example of why when you're risk averse to that level, bad shit happens.
Yeah.
Because now you're not listening to your men, the guys who are on the ground, actually in the action, doing their jobs, and you're actually holding them back from doing their jobs, and a lot of people get hurt.
You're holding them back, and you're, like, ignoring them.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you know, Tyler, I've talked to him in depth about it, and everyone should try and find the clip and follow him, Whistling Death on Instagram. Go follow him now. Like, even when he talks like a guy who's talked to, like, battalion commanders and stuff. Like, like when he gives his briefing in the committee. Like,
he's well-spoken.
He's very well-spoken, but, like, you can tell he's actually given, like, situational reports and, like, briefings to, like, people who are like, what's that? And so he breaks it down, but, like, plain and simple, we were ignored. Like, that's what rings true to me is, like, they were put there, he had eyes on, and, like, we were ignored. Like, and there aren't many things in life that could be prevented, but, I mean, he says it himself. He was there. It could have been prevented.
Yeah. Well, and kudos to him for every dude watching this is, I would have done the same thing. I would have testified before Congress. Now, that takes some fucking balls to get up in front of Congress.
Intestinal fortitude.
And say, hey, this was fucked up.
Yeah.
And people should be responsible for it. And he did it. And kudos to him for that. And I'm not going to give Taliban kudos, but I'm glad that the dude who organized that is now dead.
Yeah. I'm glad that another bad guy's died, but we should have listened to Tyler.
Yeah, he should have been dead way sooner.
Yeah.
Let's go to talk about Camp Lejeune. So the recent article you shared from Task and Purpose shows that a recent study ties a specific chemical that is just rancid at Camp Lejeune.
We won't pronounce them. I don't know how.
to Parkinson's, and then the study also found that a Marine stationed at Camp Lejeune.
Heroes. Just use the word heroes.
No, we're not all heroes. 70% more likely to have Parkinson's if you were stationed at Camp Lejeune as opposed to any other base. And then they tied it to this chemical is in the soil at Camp Lejeune, which is verified to cause Parkinson's.
Oh, what's your point?
Are you
saying that's a bad thing?
I don't even know at this point.
Are you saying that's a bad thing?
Dude, like,
are you trying to tell me that the Marine Corps made a mistake?
Not service connected is probably the point coming.
Dude, the news can be a bummer, okay? The news can be a real bummer. And, like, you know it's bad when you're getting hit with those, like, commercials where it's a guy who's like this. I was stationed from Camp Lejeune from 1974 to 1984. And, like, thank you, blank. I'm not going to plug any lawyers right now, but thank you, Smith & Smith Law Firm. And, like, that's reality. And so I've looked a little more into this, and I can speak, as my hair look dumb, I can speak a little bit from firsthand experience that, like, it makes the most amount of sense to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because the impact area for the rounds was this place we used to call New River. It's a river. It's right.
We don't know how those chemicals got all over base.
And like Camp Lejeune in particular is known for having a low water table. So even the stuff that landed in the dirt eventually hit
Going into the water table.
Hit the water table. Which here's the thing about water tables, they go to water. So
They're made of water.
And the stuff. What did it say? The stuff they said it was used for. North Carolina was polluted with a toxic chemical used to
degreaser for
degrease metal
metals.
parts. We should have just used Dawn soap. Apparently, there was no like Dawn or whatever lying around. Dry, clean clothes. I don't know how.
It was chemicals that are stripping chemicals.
And this is my favorite one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
A chemical used to decaffeinate coffee.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Which I didn't know you used chemicals for it.
Yeah.
So that means like some guys like on an episode of Dirty Jobs being like, "Hi, my name's Mark, and
decaffeinate Folgers."
I decaffeinate Folgers," and he's just like spraying like Monsanto, like a coffee beans. And he's like, "All right, now it's good. Consequently, you've got Parkinson's."
What does that mean? Should I stop drinking decaffeinated coffee?
Yeah, there's a guy named Mark, and Mike Rowe's like, "So, what do you think? How long has your family been in this business?" Well, my family's been in the decaffeinating business since 1942. Like,
is that where Marty McFly went wrong? Like, jeez.
You made a...
Is it too soon? It's not too soon.
You made a joke about Parkinson's. Guys, remember, Erik Bartell, real Erik Bartell.
Cancel that guy. I'm serious, like, it's just one thing after the other, and
it's a bummer.
I'm glad I was never stationed at Camp Lejeune.
Me too, honestly. You couldn't have cut it.
No, probably wouldn't.
You definitely couldn't drink the decaffeinated coffee.
You know where I did spend some time?
No.
Not Fort Moore.
Not Fort Moore.
Have you ever heard of Fort Moore?
I have not. Will you tell me?
I know nothing about it because it's brand new.
Yay!
Yeah, new base.
New base.
New base. It's Fort Benning. They changed the signs. This was part of the initiative they started a couple years ago to rename Army bases named after Confederate generals.
How do you feel about that? You were telling me before we started rolling you were against that. Is that...
Yeah.
Did we get the one that said Erik was...
If I haven't been canceled yet,
yeah.
I'm all for the Confederacy. Losers always win. People aren't gonna like that. I'm gonna come out and just say I didn't even know who Fort Benning was named after. Bro.
I didn't know he was a Confederate general.
I didn't either.
I didn't know there were so many bases. Is that all you guys did? The Marine Corps didn't do that because we're better. Apparently you guys were like...
We're going to put all the bases in the South because we got to watch y'all. And we're going to name them after your general so you think it's a good thing.
I joined the Marine Corps. None of my bases are named after racist generals.
You might not know.
All of yours.
Yeah. So
Lejeune's not a Confederate name. I'm pretty sure it's French.
It's probably French.
Pendleton? Come on, bro.
Pendleton. He sounds like a nice guy.
He sounds like a nice guy. Steve Pendleton.
He never owned people at any point in his life. Yeah, so there's a story
It's good.
behind more. I'm not against it. I'm going to get so confused in
He
conversation.
invented air cavalry.
Look,
he invented that.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. It's incredible.
How do you invent that?
He's the guy who invented the concept of air cavalry. He,
don't get started on the cavalry because they were really nice to us, but I think that is a branch that is not needed anymore.
It's weird I know more about the Army than you. It's
We're going to go on
like,
a tangent. It's almost like you read.
It's almost like I'm a better tactician. No, he invented the concept of air cavalry. That's what he did. It's he wrote the book, We Were Soldiers Once and Young.
I do know that, yeah.
You know, his wife actually was like known for basically pioneering the concept of fro. I mean, I'm sure it existed prior to that, but
she was the first FRG.
Yeah, fro, FRG, that's what you guys call it. Same difference.
So great guy. He deserves a base. I don't know anything about Benning, the person, because
apparently he wasn't a great guy.
Apparently, I did not do my research into the bases I was stationed at.
How did that happen? Like, no one knew? Like, all bases have memorials.
Apparently there's a reason we didn't talk about it, okay?
But all bases have, like, stuff. They're like, this is why this is named this.
Benning's the home of the infantry, and then eventually the armor showed up, and they didn't know what the hell they were doing, but...
I mean, in my mind,
we talked about infantry. Like
in
you
my
go to
mind,
the infantry museum.
here's what I think the base looked like, and you just ignored it.
Tell
like
me.
you drove on base, and there's just like rebel flags
Everywhere.
and you're just
Those
like,
were all
weird.
off base, dude. Those were all off base.
Definitely not part of Georgia, but like, and you're like, weird. I wonder why it's named this, but now it's like
now you're like, oh shit, that was screw that guy. I'm sure he was a very nice man, right?
no.
All I know is it's gonna be confusing. I'm from Chicago, and I still call the Sears Tower the Sears Tower
Why?
because that's what it's named. But
Because the company went bankrupt.
what is it called now?
What?
The Willis Tower, right? No one from Chicago calls the Sears Tower the Willis Tower.
You know what? No one calls Chicago either. A good place.
A
to
great
live.
city.
Yeah.
City of broad shoulders, baby.
Why are you proud of
But
that?
now it's going to take me 2 years
I would live
to
in
figure out
Fallujah.
how to call Fort Benning Fort Moore. That's
Really?
all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I am ready for change, unlike you.
Change.
Yeah, I'm ready for change. I want to be the change you want to see.
I think you should. It's a good slogan. You should adopt that.
I don't know. You know, here's your sign, buddy. No, I think it's good. I do think it. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's not weird. It's weird that they were named that in the first place.
I told you why they did that.
Why?
We put bases in the South to watch the South,
So
and then
you-
we named them after their general, so they felt good about it. I just told you this.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's a psyop, dog.
Yeah, maybe.
Haley's behind it.
It's probably. It's weird that it happened in the first place, but I wish there was as much attention on that as there is the other issues that continue to plague Fort Hood, Parkinson's at bases, food insecurities that are plaguing everyone E5 and under. They don't have enough money.
You know
for
what's
food.
funny that you say that is that.
But how much money
This
went into that renaming?
This
that
episode,
rebranding?
more people are going to be mad about the base getting renamed than about Parkinson's being caused by just living at Lejeune. That is what's going to
I
happen.
hope you're wrong.
I don't think I am. I think people are going to comment about being pissed off that they're renaming Fort Benning, and you're going to have two comments on, oh, that sucks for Lejeune.
I mean, I get some of the stuff they're doing. Like, it makes sense to me. Like, what's a problem you can like really tackle? Like, realistically, you can just change the name of a place and throw some branding up on it. But like,
What's an easy talking point? There we go.
look at that. We did that. Don't you guys feel better about it now?
Yeah, so-
How about like so many of the other things that are happening?
Well, and it's they're all under the same thing as Parkinson's at Lejeune, toxic carcinogens at XYZ, every single Army installation. Like,
Hey man, do you want caffeine-free
are
coffee
we going to
or
talk
not?
about this on every episode?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, but like some of it has to be talked about. Like,
Yeah.
so that's the thing. Like, here's all right. The only way to fix a problem is you have to first talk about what the issue is, right? Like, that's the only way to like find a solution. You talk about like what the problem really is. Otherwise, you're just kind of like skirting around it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like an ongoing
Well, and
thing.
honestly, just keeping it a conversation, keeping it a topic in general. Like, that's when we talk about the VA. Like, everyone's like, oh, the VA's not actually doing that. But it's like, hey, if we don't talk about it, they will.
Yeah, people that say the VA are bad just shouldn't be allowed to vote. I mean, like, they're like, not that. I've heard a lot of people say, like, the VA is just trying to kill you or stuff, or, like, their goal is, like,
Canada.
Well, it is their goal in Canada. The goal of the VA in America is not that. Their goal is to actually have as many veterans use their services as possible to increase their budget.
No, absolutely. And we don't talk about the VA like because they're the bad guy. We talk about the VA because that is one of the institutions that is increasingly and incredibly important in our community, right? Yeah. And so
we're all getting older.
While our community is not a huge cohort in the U.S. population, that's even more of a reason to scream our issues from the rooftops, because if we don't care, who is gonna?
Yeah. If people like Erik don't keep the bases, the names that he wants, who will? Yeah.
You're right.
You're the one who doesn't want change. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, I went Yellowstone and I said, I'm the wall, change too. Is that the line?
I'm the wall
that change bounces off of.
Yeah, I'm the wall that change breaks against.
We're going to name it Fort Benning 2.
Yellowstone is definitely not Western Game of Thrones. Don't look too much into it. It's definitely not the same concept.
It's Cowboy Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, never mind that. By the way, Sons of Anarchy is based off of Hamlet. Just ignore everything else. Build your personalities. Buy the merch.
I love that series, actually. Thanks.
It's based off of Hamlet.
No, I was talking. Well, Sons of Anarchy I was a big follower of. I'm talking about Yellowstone.
Yellowstone's. I don't want to do it.
All right.
It's okay.
Charlie, can we try beef jerky or what?
Sure.
Get the chicken sliders.
Chicken sliders. I just want to know how this is a thing. This is not an ad, right? Like, yeah. It says the only ingredients are meat and literally pastured chicken and salt. No additives, no seasoning, no marinades, no sugar. What is this going to taste like?
Chicken sliders, dude.
Holy salty. That is so salty.
I, being a man, am not affected by it.
What was that? Hey, Zach, it was great talking to you, dude.
I hated being here with you.
Maybe we can do this next week.
We should do it next week. More me, less you.
Every week from now on?
Every week from now on, we're going to take the time to talk about the
Issues plaguing our
veteran military culture.
Tiny little population of vets and military and people who actually give a fuck.
Honestly, anything that people want us to talk about, send it in. We'll do it.
Tell
Please
us
leave
how
comments.
much you hate us.
Yeah.
Particularly Zach.
Yeah.
Tell us that we're wrong about everything we said.
Yeah.
Make sure you pick one of the sides. Mm-hmm. And let's keep this really divisive and just toxic.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the key to change.
Yeah, I agree.
You're really good at this. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
All right, see you next week.
See you next week.